Jenny McCarthy Show.
Oh! Welcome back to the Jenny McCarthy Show. I'm Jenny McCarthy Wahlberg. So excited to talk to my next guests, Helio Castroneves, Alexander Rossi, and Ryan Hunter-Reay. You guys can listen to the coverage of the 103rd running of the Indianapolis 500 this Sunday on Mad Dog Sports Radio, SiriusXM Channel 82. Boys, welcome to my show.
Hello.
Thanks for having us on.
Damn. Okay, between the three of you guys, how many Indy 500 wins do you have?
3,
5.
5. My
Because
math is right.
Elio wins 3.
So what? Wait, what about the three?
Well, Elio's won
I got
3,
3, so the other ones got 1 each. So I guess our math is it's 5 total. How about that, huh?
That's not bad. That's not bad. You get jealous that they have more?
Yes.
They have to be jealous. Come on.
I know. But, I mean, this is, you guys are competitors, obviously. So even if you're friends, you've got to feel that little bit of like,
But who says we're friends?
Yeah, we don't like each other at all.
We're
pretty upset that we have to be in the same room right now.
Exactly, right now. Imagine now it's so funny games, but obviously we respect each other all the time. And it's if there is something going on the track, maybe I'm the one. I'm this way. I don't know about them, but I'm sometimes like, hey, did you see me? You didn't see me? Or are you having a bad day? You're not having a bad day? What's going on? So it is what it is. But I think all in the community of racing, we all competitors. So you're not gonna give it up an inch, for when you challenge for a position. So that's. But outside the track, I feel that everybody enjoy the company with each other.
Do you guys have any superstitions? Like you have to do a certain ritual before you do a race?
I have none. You?
Absolutely none. Maybe the Brazilian.
Helio definitely has some weird something or other.
I used to. Yes, yeah. I used to. I used to wear the same underwear. I mean, I wash it obviously, but the same underwear. Same brand. Yeah, the same brand, and I felt that it was start getting a little bit wear out, and I say, okay, maybe this is not working.
Have you won a 500 since you switched underwear?
Good question. Yeah. Good question. Maybe I should find where's my underwear.
No kidding.
It's been 10 years. No, actually, I did. So, but always when I get into the race car, for example, I go in with my right leg, my right foot, into it. But I don't think it's a superstition. I think it's just a way that if I don't do habit, if I don't do that way, I feel it's missing something.
Yep.
So that's
no one's sacrificing any chickens just to win, basically.
No,
I don't think so.
So out of all the races and the racetracks, what makes Indianapolis 500 such a big deal?
It's the biggest sporting event in the world. Single-day sporting event, biggest in the world. Yeah. 350,000 people in one spot. And what makes it a big deal, I think there's 33 nut jobs out there doing 240 miles an hour and fighting for the greatest race in the world.
What do you guys win besides?
No, it's tradition. You're talking about it's the biggest prize money. It's about what $2.5 to $3 million. Whoever wins. Damn. So yeah, exactly. So if you're thinking about it, over 100 years old, this race, it's only few able to make it. We just had a bump day on Sunday, and sometimes people not able to. They made a lot of investment, and all of a sudden they not even make to the race. So this is if you gotta choose one race to win, this is the one.
Yep.
This is the one. And Alexander, you were on The Amazing Race.
I was on that show, yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what was the best and worst part of that experience?
The best part was being done with it.
It was hell.
And the worst. So I'll tell you why. So the worst part was the actual time in between the actual episodes. So you'd travel to Iceland, for example, and then you'd have to get to Belgium, but there was this downtime of 48 hours, and you couldn't actually leave your hotel room. So you were kind of just there with your partner, and you had no phones or any way to entertain yourselves, and you couldn't really see the cities.
What'd you do?
You just sat there.
Well, why?
So you actually had to do something called have a conversation.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You run out of things to talk about, especially with someone who I had lived with for a long time. You know everything about them, right? So it's okay, well, this is boring. So you'd actually count down the time until your next meal. So it kind of felt like prison, except prisoners get a phone call. So, but with that being said, it was a great opportunity to kind of get our names out there in a different way and hopefully introduce the NTT IndyCar Series to a new audience that might not watch it.
So that was the best part, being able to do that.
Yes, 100%.
I heard you actually suck at Mario Kart
I am actually really good at Mario Kart, so whoever told you that is full of false advertisement.
I was literally texted last night
Yeah.
telling him he
Yeah,
just
no, I
sucks
know.
at it.
Yeah, I heard
so
that
bad.
too.
So Marco actually loses to me at Mario Kart quite often.
So he's the loser, is what you're saying.
Marco Andretti is terrible at Mario Kart, yes.
Wow.
He was really convinced to me last night. He's like, I'm telling you, he just sucks at it so bad.
No,
You
I'm
got to make
actually
sure you
really
let him know.
talented. Here's how committed I am to Mario Kart. On a flight from Texas to LA a couple months ago, I bought like a 20-inch television at Best Buy, brought my N64 onto the airplane, plugged in the TV like at my feet, and played Mario Kart for like 3 hours.
He didn't do it.
Well, that's
with a
a
buddy of mine.
dedication.
That is
100% I
commitment.
did. Yes.
Oh my God.
That's a bit more than commitment.
Like,
So-
you
a
are
few screws
sick.
loose.
You are sick. I don't know about that, but it's
Sounds like something you should have did in that Amazing Race hotel room.
Exactly.
Should have, right?
Yeah.
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 That would have been
Next
smart.
time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Ryan, was your boss really David Letterman when you started driving Indy cars?
Yeah, my first race on the job, Letterman was there to welcome me, and man, that was a lot of pressure. But he was great to drive for. He loves racing so much, especially the IndyCar series, and he still is a team owner. So yeah, my first ride in IndyCar was for Dave. Pretty
So when
cool.
you say and explain this to a female audience, when we say David Letterman's your boss, is he giving you tips?
He's the team owner, so he's a part owner with Bobby Rahal in
Okay.
in an IndyCar team. So yes, he's not giving me tips directly. No, he's not saying, "Hey, I need you to do this and I need you to do that." He's the guy that ended up hiring me. You know, him and Bobby Rahal. So
Wow.
I'm working for them, and I'm their driver, and got to go get the job done with them. We want to race at Watkins Glen, so that was a lot of fun. Did that together, and went on the
is he
Letterman
like?
show. Really cool.
What is he like though? What is his personality like as a human being?
He's funny. I mean, the guy is. I mean, he seems like what you see on TV is just like what you kind of get off the camera. I mean, he's a funny guy and
Dry.
yeah, totally dry. Yeah, sometimes I didn't know if should I laugh at that or I don't know
I
what's
know.
going on here.
Does he get angry if the result doesn't show up?
No, not really. No, he's pretty laid back with
Does
it
he
all.
throw a party when you win?
I don't know about I mean, he took me on the show.
But what is his pick me
that
up
was a
if you
party
do
for me.
lose? Is he like better luck next time, kid? Or
No, he's kind of like we had a conversation before the Indy 500 a few years ago when I drove for him, and every other line was so sarcastic that I didn't know how to respond. It got a little awkward, but
Right.
he's no, he doesn't really critique it or anything like that. He wants to be a part of it, wants to win the Indy 500, and you know, he loves the sport like we do. So it's cool to have him as a part of it. And now
Good
I
old
think he's got the
Indiana
beard
boy.
still, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Looking like
yeah,
Santa Claus
massive,
more
yeah,
and more.
Santa Claus deal. Yeah.
Ryan, I also heard you have a huge yacht.
Yes.
He does have a big yacht.
Yeah.
It's got
Marco-
like 9 engines.
Marco always Marco
Wow.
charters these like 100-foot yachts, and I pull up in my 42-foot boat, and it looks like a dinghy. So that's why we're always going back and forth on that. But yeah, I
And
do
Helio-
enjoy boating.
You do?
Yeah.
I would too if I had a lot of money. Helio, which made you more nervous, driving at the Indy 500 or dancing with Juliana Hough before the championship of Dancing with the Stars?
Oh man, definitely dancing with Julianne. I mean, the good news is she was a great partner. She was able to calm me down and make sure that everything was fine. And it's just like a race team, you know. When you have a good car, you know you're gonna go all the way to the end. And it was the same thing. It was great.
She's the best one. But how do you, and I wonder this for every like bachelor that goes on there, how do you not get a little boner when you're dancing with stars?
You know, great question. We have some inside story. That's why. But the thing is,
Oh, that's what really.
let me tell you, people don't realize that she was 19, I was 33 when we actually danced together. So it was kind of like she was really, really young. However, when you start dancing, at the beginning, it's awkward, especially for us that we're not professionals. You like, okay, she's rubbing on you, and you rubbing on her, and you're like,
Right.
oh wow, it's just what's going on here, you know? And but you're so focused to make sure that you can hit the steps and make sure you do the right choreography that all of a sudden. So I remember in the beginning, we went to do a spin. She told me like, okay, hold me, you know, about the breast side, you know. So when she starts turning around, I'm touching her breast. I'm like, oh. And she's like, what happened? Oh, no, nothing. Just keep spinning. So, but after that, you're not even thinking anymore because you just want to make sure you do the right thing. You want to make sure you nail the steps right so that you're excited for the score. So And all of them, not only Julianne, but all the actually the dancers are incredible competitive. You're talking about us being competitive. I mean, those guys and girls, they are competitive. They want to win so bad. So it was a great time. I had a great time. Great show. Big fan still of the show and still watch a lot.
Oh, I love that you were on that. Have you guys ever gotten emotional after a race? Like, do you cry? Or do you just...
I cried once.
Did you?
Yeah.
Only once?
Which race was it?
It was the 500.
Oh.
Yeah, it was kind of...
At least you're human.
It was kind of awkward because,
Yeah.
like, they broadcast it to the world. So...
And do people, like, give you shit for it, or they have
Yep.
compassion?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Nah, come on.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Who?
They were like, "Oh, you weren't excited." It's like, well, I was. I just didn't yell. I cried.
I kind of love
Kind
that.
of awkward. Yeah.
No, I cry all the time. I mean, anything I was like crying too. It's look, a lot of people don't know how much work is into it. It's like everybody's professional, and how much there is so many few spots. And when you make it, and it is that little movie goes through your head, everything when you start racing, and when you achieve your goals, and that's why it become emotional.
What happens when you hit a wall going 200 miles an hour? What is your checklist after you hit it? Do you go like, okay, my arms and legs are
Yep.
still attached?
Yeah, pretty much like that. You check and make sure
Make
that
sure you have movement.
movements, and you're like, okay, what kind of truck just passed over me, you know? So it's very, but the good news is we have a phenomenal AMR people from the medical standpoint. You know, they're guard angels for us. As soon as something happened, in a matter of seconds, I'm talking about in a matter of seconds, they are there to make sure that you're on it. And without them, it would be very hard for us to compete the level that we compete.
I think
Yep.
the biggest thing that would surprise you is like the first thing that goes through your mind is anger because you're out of the race.
Correct.
Like it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
actually
yeah,
like
yeah.
a self preservation type thought. It's like I'm so mad at so and so because this happened type thing, or mad at yourself
Right.
because you feel like you've let down the team and you're
Yeah,
out of the race
true,
and
true.
you've all of this stuff, and then it's like, oh well, actually I'm okay now. So
Yeah.
And have you guys ever wrecked anybody on purpose? I would imagine.
In our
On
cars, you really don't want to do that. It's not like stock cars where they have fenders you can bump into each other. With ours, they're so lightweight, we're going so fast that hitting each other is not a good idea. You'll end up sending somebody flying. So
And
Yeah.
yourself too.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
put
So-
yourself in danger too.
So everyone's consciously aware to not do that.
for sure.
yeah,
Death wish.
pretty much. I mean, you definitely get mad at some guys, and what goes around comes around, I guess. But we tend to not take our aggression out by hitting each other on the racetrack.
It's hard. We're talking about, especially Indy, we're going over 240 miles an hour. It's very, at least I think everyone understands. We respect each other, and some drivers unfortunately don't have the same level of respect. But you can't use your car as a weapon. It's not going to work.
No. And are you guys all married?
I am.
I'm not.
What is more expensive, having a wife or your life insurance policy?
Well, I have
Which
3
one is-
boys, so I have 3 boys.
Oh shit.
6, 4, and 2. So I'm in for it.
I had a little girl, and definitely it's more expensive to have that family.
I have a
Yeah.
mini golden doodle.
Oh. And I mean, how
Not expensive at all.
Is your family scared, or how do they react when you have to go for a race? I can only imagine if I was a kid and my dad was leaving, I'd be like,
I think my kids love it. I mean, I don't know if they think that everybody's dad's an IndyCar driver or what, but they're totally into it. They love it, and they come to some of the races, and yeah, it's just having fun with them right now. It's a fun age, 6, 4, and 2, and they're all psyched about race cars, Indy cars, and I don't know, they love it. So
how do you guys know when to retire? When is it you go like, okay, that was my last race?
I don't know. Sometimes it never comes. I mean, you just right. You want to go out
Yeah.
though on a high.
It's a great question. Actually, I'm in that border edge, I would say. I mean, I'm not doing the full-time IndyCar series. I'm doing another series because my boss said, you know what, I want you to go to this. I need you. And you're like, I don't want to go. But in the end of the day, I want to stay here with this team. So it's a great question. I feel that talking to other colleagues that already retired, if you're not having the fun, if you're not having the fire still inside of your stomach, or if you not have the desire to go to the racetrack, probably that's the sign that said, you know what, you better stop. Which is completely different than what I'm feeling right now. Actually, every time I come back to an IndyCar, I'm like, I should be here. I should be here. But it is what it is. It's opportunity, as I said before. It's a very small opportunity for different teams. And I guess when it's time, we will find out.
That's a great answer, because I think that goes across the board for a lot of people when it stops being fun. You know, we stop getting excited. I wish you guys the best. Helio Castroneves, Alexander Rossi, and Ryan Hunter-Reay. IndyCar Series, Indianapolis 500. You guys listen to the coverage of the 103rd running of the Indianapolis 500 this Sunday on Mad Dog Sports Radio at SiriusXM Channel 82. You guys, much love to you. Any message I should give to Marco?
Oh, boy.
Eat my dust.
We should have thought of something.
Yeah, we should have thought of something. I didn't see that one coming.
I'll just tell him that he's the one that sucks at Mario
Kart, yes. And that he should have trimmed more in qualifying. You should tell him that.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, he's probably flying on his private jet back from whatever appearance he's at, and he's done by noon. Yeah, we'll be at it all day here. We'll be at it all day here working.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, congratulations, you guys.
Thanks,
We're really
Jenny.
rooting for you. And come back anytime, all right?
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We'll be right back, you guys. Don't go anywhere.
Jenny McCarthy Show. Oh!